today. Welcome into my virtual living room. And coming from Bobbie's virtual living room are two of my dear students, Sandra and Bobbie, sisters. And I have had the pleasure of teaching both of you from different states, Illinois and Florida, for at least a couple of years now. It's just been a really, really great run. And I thank you so very much for being here and to continue putting your trust in me, in yourselves, and in our gorgeous community of wise women practicing yoga. So hi, Sandra. Hi, Bobbie.
Hello, Nadine.
I
Thanks
just
for
put you,
having us.
oh, absolutely. I just put you both through a little bit of the ringer on the floor for that
Yeah,
practice,
we're
huh?
still
But
sweating.
but you had a great, great relaxation and
Yeah.
always looks good. So great.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to ask this first question. Whoever wants to go first, please do so. When I say the phrase healthy woman, what comes to mind?
Hmm. Well, I guess so when you say healthy woman, what comes to mind to me is my sister Sandra. And the reason I say that is because, for I know more than 10 years or more, she has consistently been exercising, walking, uh, just eating properly, doing all the things she can to make sure that she, she's a healthy person. And so that's what comes to mind for me.
Thank you. I think what comes to mind for me when you say the phrase healthy woman is just doing all I can do to keep myself active, and any and friends I have to try to bring them along the journey too, just to stay as active as fit as we possibly can. So we can just as we age, just to have a good journey in this process.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Even though you've both taken really good care of yourselves, before we started practicing yoga together, were there any particular health challenges that drew you to the practice and continue to draw you here?
I think I'll take this one then. My health challenges, I used to be a runner, and during that time, I injured my knee. So I have my range of motion is not that good. Actually, I'm bone on bone, believe it, on one knee. But I just try to stay as fit and just keep moving and moving and moving. But I've always wanted to do yoga from the back of my mind. I did exercise, different jazzercise and stepping and all this stuff, but I've always wanted to do yoga. And after doing yoga, I just know that my range of motion is so much better. My flexibility is so much better. So I've really enjoyed that, putting the yoga practice with my other workout routines.
Okay.
How about you,
So,
Bobbie?
my encouragement of coming and doing yoga came from this one sitting next to me. Baby. Well, not the baby sister, but as they would say, the next to the baby sister. And one of the reasons she was interested in caring about me so much is that um, my husband has a lot of health issues, and she knows that I am his caretaker. And so she was so much concerned about my mental wellness
Mhm.
and my mental health, uh, that she kept saying, so she kept encouraging me to do things that would be for me individually. And so through her, that's why I did the yoga. I never really ever thought I would do it. My younger sister used to do it all the time, but I never thought I would. But I come to really, really enjoy and learn. And the stretching, I've learned that the stretching is so much good for me. Yeah. No, so.
Why have you both chosen to work with me over any other yoga teacher? And
Oh,
maybe even also on Zoom?
oh, that's a good one. Okay, I chose to work with you because a few years ago, like I said earlier, I wanted to know about yoga practice. I always wanted to sort of in the back of my mind, but I always thought about this as being something that was for younger people. You got to be 25, 35 in that age group to do yoga. That was the stereotype I had in my mind. So I joined a yoga studio. Big mistake. So I joined the yoga studio, and there was like all these yogis there, and they were nice enough, but it was strictly just in and out. But the yoga instructors were good and they were professional, what have you. But in the yoga studio classes, they just expect you, everybody to do the same poses. Whenever they say a pose, then you do that pose and you hold exactly the same way. So I remember this one particular class I was in, we were holding some pose on the wall. And of course, I don't have the best posture. I never have. As a kid, I never had great postures, always don't. So she came up to me and she pressed my shoulder into the wall. And I was in this contortionist, pose I was holding. And I swear it's like 5 minutes. It wasn't that long, but it felt like it was that. So then I said, this is not for me. But of course, I still would go back. And then when I met you, and started, I know I met you doing aqua yoga.
Mm-hmm.
I met you in an aqua yoga class. And then I found that you had a class outside of aqua yoga. And then I joined that class. And in that class, when I started with the class was catered to individual needs. You would modify, say, for instance, if I have a knee problem, you would modify the classes according to and fit to all the different ladies that was in the class. So that's why I started coming to you and was trying to tell other people about you.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, naturally, I followed her in you, and she actually had me to start the chair yoga, because she knew my body was not fit to do a whole lot of things. So for the first year, I was doing yoga in the chair, and then after doing that and knowing that my body was stronger, feeling like I was able to move forward and wanting to do more, then I came to the floor exercise. But one of the things I like about you so much, Nadine, is that because I have osteoporosis, and you always say whatever, if it's, I always heard, if no pain, no gain. It's kind of ingrained in my head. I've heard that before, and I always thought that that's what you were supposed to. But you always say, if it hurts, then don't move, don't do that, because you might injure yourself. And that's one of the things I really, really like about you, is that the individuality, that you care about us individually, and your small classes. Because I know that you are watching every step, and you're talking us through how to correct it and whatever. So. I like the small classes. I've never been one of those people that go to the gym and do all of that. I would never do that. That's just not my style. And now that we now have Zoom and stuff, and I can do it at home, and like I said, I am the caretaker, so therefore I don't have to worry about trying to get a sitter in or whatever to do that. So it's really a great thing for me.
And with me, with the Zoom aspect of it, of course, COVID came in. And I remember it was so cool because you were on it immediately, and with most of the listeners probably don't realize that you had moved away. So we were never not even the same county anymore. So we were tracing to Nadine's every quarter or what have you, an hour drive, we were just looking so forward to that. But Zoom came in and everybody was, in place. So it was just an ideal setting. And I don't think of anything else I want to do. It's just so perfect. You're right here at your own home. You just roll out and get the practice done, and then go on with your day, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I so appreciate what you both just shared. First of all, looking at you, Sandra selling herself short. Bad posture. Oh my goodness. Well, maybe it is yoga that has become, seriously, because it's great. Your posture's great.
No, I always tell everybody, but as a kid, I always tell everybody, I tell you all the time that
as a kid,
my posture, she would say this from my yoga practice.
Yeah, she was always
she was always rolling.
She was always rounding her shoulders. she never sat up straight. She was always like,
you can't see it in these classes.
Yeah, we always talked about her arms was too long for the rest of her body.
And Bobbie, I appreciate the perspective of going from chair to floor, because you did it seamlessly. And it's just a great reminder of how, you start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. So I really appreciate that share. Is there any aspect of the yoga practice that you have found trickles into your everyday life, has become a part of your lifestyle, has or have for either one of you?
Mhm. Well, I think you say with the posture that,
Yeah, that, and I think even with the I was gonna say more like the bending, I practice too. I practice when I sit. I don't just sit up on my arms. I don't come up on my arms. I just try to spring up, from my body more so than push up on my arms. That's been very mindful of me doing that. And just flexibility and range of motion completely, reaching and stretching and twisting and turning, all that I found that since I've been doing the yoga practice regularly, that has truly improved. Like I said, I do strength training, and I'm pretty strong upper body.
Yeah.
But that flexibility and range of motion that that yoga has given me.
Yeah. One of the things it reminds me of, like what she's saying, from the lower part of my body, because that's my weak area. Like bending and lifting. I'm really conscious of doing that, making sure that my knees are bent, lift up, and to make sure that I don't injure my back, and all of that. So that's helped me a lot. To remind me, and I kind of, the stretching. I try to now stretch I actually try in the morning before I get out of bed to completely stretch my whole body. Most mornings I do it. Sometimes I forget, spring out of bed and not do it, but I try to do that every morning. Yeah.
It's funny you bring that up because I get a word of the day. You all know I'm a nerd. So I get word of the day in my inbox every day. And one of the words last week was pandiculation. And that's stretching before you get out of bed in the morning.
Pandiculation. I gotta remember that. Okay.
So I'm glad you're practicing that, Bobbie. Bobbie, has yoga helped you with your caregiving? Because you mentioned that at the top.
Yes, because the breathing especially, because I know now my calmness. My husband is basically, he's 75% to 80% in bed. And so and that's happened in the last year, since we started in February a year ago, him back in the hospital like 4 or 5 times last year. And so I used to get agitated with it, but now I've learned to with the breathing, I back off. I just calm myself and breathe, take a lot of good breaths, and I can do whatever. And, and that's the part that has really helped me, the breathing with that. Because whenever he's agitated, and sometimes he is, I've learned to back off and breathe and not agitate him more, so that I can calm down, and then, and move forward with it. Yeah.
It's helped with your lifting too, helping to lift him.
Yeah. Well, of course, the lifting and part, the lifting of him, because he does have to be lifted, sometimes, or rolled back and forth. Because it's bed baths with him. Yeah.
So where would you two be without yoga right now, do you think?
Where I would be is I don't know. I'm back to that agitated person who's like, what?
I guess it's back to that 12, 13-year-old back pasta girl probably too. No, I didn't see not having my regular yoga practice at least once a week, So I can't see, anything other than I'm going to keep yoga. I'm keeping yoga, as long as you're here, we're going to be here too,
Yeah.
So we're going to keep yoga as our practice. We look forward to it. It's the thing that sort of gives us that extra energy.
And it allows us to see each other.
That's it.
It allows us to, living in different states, we don't necessarily talk every day, but we know on the days that we know we're going to see each other, and if one's not going to be there, they try to make sure the other one knows, so they won't say, okay, what happened, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so that goes back to Zoom and all that too.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
helps
good.
us out, stay
Yeah, we
connected.
definitely see that. Absolutely. We do see you looking out for each
And
other
and
and
it-
saying,
and what I can tell you, last year when you took your, you were, oh, no, when you took your certification, remember you
You were
had your
gone.
certification and you were gone for a month. No, we didn't have, so we talked
yes.
about, well, we actually, we did some
We
things
did on
together.
Zoom. Yeah, we're
We,
there
we
all the
Zoomed
time.
ourselves.
Oh,
Yeah, so even, we said, because I kept saying, well, Sandra, we ought to be able to do this. She said, well, yeah, we can do the house. So we Zoomed ourselves together while you were taking your certification. Yeah.
ah, oh. I'm
Yeah.
glad I asked that question. Okay.
I
That
forgot
brings
about
me
Yeah.
great joy.
Yeah. Yeah. And we try it. We are oftentimes, because we have a third, our baby sister. And so we try to get her in, but it's hard.
that. That's another.
She's a busy person now. She's a busy person, but we haven't got her in it. We haven't got her. We're gonna get her though. And she still works, so that's
Sure,
yeah.
sure. That makes it
Scheduling issue for her.
challenging. Yes, yes.
Yes, it is. It is.
So if anyone is on the fence about joining class, about joining our community, what would you say to her?
I would say she needs to get off the fence and come and be a part. Yeah. Yeah, I've actually talked to a couple, because a couple of people that I am connected to through church and stuff, and been trying to convince them, but I haven't been able yet. So yeah, I'm gonna keep trying though, for sure. Because I know they would be like me. They're basically uh, otherwise not doing anything. So I've been trying to talk to them, but I would advise them, yes, by all means, yes.
The same thing with me. I've talked to several people and they say they want to, but I think still people with yoga, they don't really understand the benefits of it. And I think just being educated about yoga. And I've had a couple of people that said they're going to do it, but then they said, I'm going to be in your class. Well, you might want to start with floor first and then graduate up. You just can't start on, with chair first, excuse me, and then graduate. You just can't jump into, floor, or you
Sure.
find like I was, going to a yoga studio, like that, just walking in. But the main thing I would tell them, and I have told a few people, I said, we don't just have a yoga certified instructor.
Yeah.
We have a medical doctor so she knows the body inside and out, So, and one thing I really love about the class too, when we come into your class, no matter, how many ladies are in the class at the time, and they've all been ladies so far, you will always ask us if there is we have a particular concern. And if we say, my lower back is hurting, or my neck or my shoulder, no matter what you've already decided for that class before we come in, what you decide we're going to do, routines we're going to do, you always know how to just turn it on a dime. And then we can all get the same benefits. You'll just turn it and then incorporate that particular concerns that one or two of us might have, which is always such amazing to me. And most yoga instructors, they can't do that. But you've been in a position, you can easily do that.
Yeah.
So so it's not that it's just not cut and dry what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that within itself.
Customized.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can.
Well, the
So
background has definitely affected me. I thank you for saying that I do have a good bedside manner. I prided myself on that when I was practicing, when I did get to work with patients. And being a pathologist, you had to pay attention to detail. So that is what I really love about helping you all individually, is paying attention to those little tweaks and making a pose that may look a certain way. What I've never liked is a cookie cutter approach, just because tree pose classically looks a certain way. For instance, there's so many ways you can do it, and so many ways you can adapt it for different bodies. And I've just really loved being on that journey with the both of you. I have loved watching the both of you light up the Zoom screens every single Tuesday for Yoga Tuesday. I've loved the trust that you've placed it in me and in each other. And no one can bring what you bring to the community together. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
so
much.
much. We appreciate
that.
it.